for like, so, I don't know, has anybody else ever done like a chaos engineering exercise like this before? I didn't know who was gonna drive it, but I've done a bunch of these over the years.
Yeah, I think I was kind of Brian, like was it a week and a half ago, and Pablo and myself and Shrey, we did a review, right?
Yeah.
And I just kind of get everybody up to speed. So I propose like we have some maybe the zero waste rate, a like what Patrick mentioned, a script injection and timing out that the template I provided, and I I don't think that's in there yet, right, Sheree? When I look at it just earlier.
No,
So
I think it is. Like,
is
this
it?
the,
I guess depends on the goal. Is the goal just to talk about it, and maybe I think Pablo mentioned let's go through it, and we have another session. I think he mentioned earlier today, right, in the meeting, Patrick, was that correct?
Yeah.
Which is fine too, right? That's okay too.
I mean, I think so. Like, I don't think it needs to be super formalized. We just
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
get this done for kind of like compliance purposes.
Well, I thought we had to actually do the tabletop exercise though, at some point, right? I mean,
Like,
which is
like
you-
actually physically do it.
No, you have a scenario and you
Yeah.
have a series of injects and you have to discuss the response.
Yeah, yeah.
As
That's
it
what
was
that's
happening.
what this is. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Oh. All right. So, yeah, we have an agenda. This is the agenda. The times are a little bit wrong-ish,
That's fine.
but I can fix that after. These are the different participants. I think Ben Schmidt is not part of the company anymore, right?
Who's that?
Benjamin?
I don't remember.
Yeah, Benjamin Schmidt. I think he was.
Yeah, he left.
He left.
Sharp
let me-
Steve.
Oh, okay.
So does this look like an accurate list of the people? Just to,
Except half those people aren't in this meeting right now.
I know. But if they were, I mean, like the right people.
Danny needs to be added.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. Let me add you real quick.
Thank you, Drew. I missed my name there. Even though I kind of know this, I didn't put it in.
That's what buddies do.
Yeah. You got my back. I got your back.
His responsibility would be what? Incident manager, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. The other guys, why are some of them not hired?
I just added that. I probably didn't add myself.
Sorry, I didn't see that.
Okay, thanks.
We don't have Avinash in this meeting? Is he here today?
Yeah.
We don't have who?
Is he, Avinash, is he supposed to be
I don't know.
in this meeting?
I'm not sure if is he handling this?
Well, Sasan organized it.
Yeah. I thought
But-
it's the song.
Yeah, but he didn't invite Avinash. Anyway,
Got it.
it's neither here nor there.
Alright. So basically the introduction of this is an unanticipated infrastructure failure, like a major network outage can bring operations to a standstill. So we're practicing our response to these events. Practicing our response to these events is critical in developing resilience and a clear recovery strategy. Okay. So the tabletop exercise is to simulate a staged network outage and guide participants that through managing impacts. Initiating failover plans and communicating effectively or efficiently. All right. So the structure of this is it's kind of separated into three modules. The first one is the network outage detection and the initial response. The second module is the extended disruption and site operations impact. And the third one is a business continuity, communication, and recovery plan. So let's go to module one. So in module one, on Friday at 2 p.m., June 28th, during mid-shift sequencing operations at RTP, Internal monitoring alerts indicated all systems hosted in Rack 1 have gone offline. Lab engineers reported that the service running on these nodes are no longer accessible. Initial investigation suggests a rack level network failure. So what do we do when we see this?
Send voice.
Yes. Send voice.
Sorry, that was a little too tongue in cheek and not very serious.
All right, one sec. Let me get some notes here.
Maybe we could call Jackson and voice.
Call voice. Keep him to reach Tom Jackson, who will try to also call voice.
So I guess if just parsing this, during the shift sequencing operations at RTP, internal monitoring alerts indicate, okay, where do those alerts go? Who gets them?
We
That
have
would be the
the
first
channel.
The channel.
Yes, we have Amresh, Boyce, Dan Martin, Jackson, Jaron, Patrick, Shrey, and Thomas Cameron.
What's the channel called?
Alerts, IT, network, critical. And there's also a non-critical one.
Okay. Maybe we should add that to the doc, Shrey.
Yeah. What is it called?
I'll slack you the name of it. You're in it, man.
I have so many Slack channels. I don't.
He's got it muted.
I don't pay attention to a lot of them. So.
Yep.
Okay. Is this alert IT network critical? I have it. Yeah.
That's the one I remember knowing. Yeah.
So it gets sent. Okay. There's. Okay. Alerts indicate that all system. Okay, so the first thing is. Okay. Let's see my notes. They go to that Slack channel. Okay, that's fine. And then we have to reach out to network team.
Well, hold on. Lab engineers report. How are the lab engineers reporting this?
However way they can.
So that could be Slack, email, Google Chat.
They could just walk up to the help desk and
Or find, maybe voices walking around, they say, hey dude,
So
your SSS.
lab engineers report by some means.
Well, I would imagine lab engineers would be noticing things not working in the lab. They wouldn't necessarily know that it's a rack issue or a network issue.
Right.
But they'd be suspicious of that. They might notice like, yeah, our, some instruments are offline and we can't access things.
Yeah, but we're gonna get an actual notification in that one channel that
Yeah,
something's wrong with the rack.
we would too, yeah.
So let me go through the whole module, and then I have a bunch of questions at the end that we can.
Okay. Sorry to derail you.
No, you're good. You're good. So yeah, the lab engineers basically report that services running on these nodes are no longer accessible, and initial investigations suggest a rack level network failure. So that's the first event. I don't know, do I have to go event and then add the inject, or do we go through the questions like one after, like, do we go over the questions right after event one? How does that work?
So here's my recommendation, just my input. We don't need to use, so my thought is, okay, so a rack shell failure. So we gotta be more specific. What does that mean? Is a monitor, a kickout monitor? Or someone yell at the threats? I think we have to define that. So
I think that's some of the questions that we have to.
yeah, exactly. I'm just posting in the room, because I haven't been here long enough. I'm just asking, okay, we need to define what is the trigger. Is it someone yell at voice in a threat, or is it monitor? So we just need to define that. I think this is like Patrick, you mean the injector, right? What triggered it, right?
Right.
So lab engineers use Slack to reach out to, what is it? Like what channel?
That channel, I think Jackson mentioned, was it that one?
No, those are automated.
That's automated.
Or that's automated? Or maybe maybe Jackson, all of it.
There's a lot of different channels, I think. I
Yeah.
think there's a lab, maybe there's a lab support channel.
Lab, yeah, lab, what is it? I don't know, lab some, what is it? Lab, limbs ops, is that what it is?
No, because there's Limbs Ops, there's Atlas Ops, there's a bunch.
Oh,
There's like one for each product.
Lab SW alerts, lab software infra,
Is this document somewhere?
lab
These channels?
remediation alerts.
Support, well, it's in, I think that IT SOP one talks about where you're supposed to,
Honestly,
but it might be out of date.
sometimes if they think it's like a general IT issue, they'll just put it in the help IT. No sense
Yeah,
in
but you
info.
can say help IT, so
Yeah.
lab engineers use Slack to,
Yeah. A lot of times they'll just DM people too.
Oh.
yeah, message in the help IT channel, hashtag.
So
Help
this-
Let me
IT.
see what the SOP says.
Yeah.
So it's called Gradle IT DR and Incident Management Plan. So
Okay.
This is the one.
So we have that, I have reach out to network engineering team, to make them aware, okay?
Actually, wait, there's a long list of terms here. Hold on. Okay,
Alright, and then, the first inject is the help desk receives multiple tickets from users reporting inability to access systems hosted on Rack 1, including internal tools and data stores. Ping and SSH attempts to nodes in the rack fail, and the incident escalates to the network engineering team. And inject 2 is
Wait.
network.
you already
Yeah.
jumped into 2, or?
Oh, well, I don't know how it works. Do I have to go through all of them and then we go through the questions at the bottom?
The general way I worked before, like last time, we just did one for the lab, while I was in RTP.
Oh, yeah, we
After-
went through each one separate.
Yeah, after each inject, we'd have some discussion.
Okay,
And see how,
so,
you know,
yeah, let's discuss inject 1.
yeah.
So ping and SSH attempts to the nodes in the rack failing. So what do we do?
Well, you said the incident escalated to the network engineering team also,
Okay,
but,
but what
So,
do we?
so here's, so you,
So-
go ahead, Patrick, yeah, I can supplement you.
well, we could talk about what would the impact at this point be? Who should should we start escalating to a wider audience? Are there risks to sample failure at this point? So how, what does that do? What will that trigger? Do we need to think about, do we suspect a cybersecurity incident or something? All these kind of things. Because how critical is it at this point as well? We're noticing, users reporting inability to access systems hosted on Rack 1, including internal tools and data stores.
Yep.
So, how severe is that at this point? Are we affecting the lab operations now? Are lab workers unable to proceed? Do they need to start pausing things? They have like their own response plan where they can like pull off samples or put things on hold, and there's only like a certain number of hours that things can keep running at that point. So, do we need to escalate to leadership, like senior leadership, VP level, or ELT?
Yeah.
Should we involve security at this point? All these, those are the kind of questions you want to go through for each inject.
Do we suspect a cybersecurity incident? Do we need to escalate
Yeah.
leadership? Okay. All right. Sounds good. What else?
So, the first step is, according to like the SOP, is you would also like trigger a PagerDuty notification to the on-call infra engineer.
Yep.
And they should begin to triage it. So yeah, they will triage the issue, trigger follow-on activities as appropriate, according to there's a table here even.
Can you ping that doc,
If
Patrick?
you go into Viva, everyone
Viva?
should even bring this up, probably. It's called IT SOP 1.
ITSOP 1?
Yep. Should print it out and post it on your wall. Actually.
Yeah. Is it just SOP 001 or just 1?
I think it's like 0001 or something.
Okay.
But I mean, the table says initial triage, you're supposed to acknowledge and review the alert. If critical, put a communication, and it mentions a Slack channel I've never heard of, real IT disaster communication. Within 15 minutes of acknowledging it, determine if there's an impact to mission critical systems. You know, if yes, you have to activate full incident response, launch a Zoom conference, notify the full incident response team with links to the Zoom, have a JIRA ticket, start documenting things, all of that. So those are the steps you're supposed to take. Incident commander, it even says incident commander within 15 minutes of being alerted, send a structured update to the ELT. Within 30 minutes, send a structured message to the appropriate email distribution list. And yeah, the incident commander, like I said, you need tickets. You gotta create a log, document everything. You lead the overall response, ensure compliance with this procedure. You know, communicate and manage assignments, escalate the need for additional assistance.
Yeah, this is a good doc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can see where we need updates. Like
Yeah.
it's saying to put it on that Slack channel. I think it would be good to have it say what PagerDuty thing.
Yeah.
And what Slack channel, one that people actually know about, because I've never heard of this one.
So Pat, this is what I was going to meeting with you to talk about.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I
we
know.
can do
Yeah.
that now.
Yeah.
Too,
Yeah.
So I'm on around like page, what is this, page 14 or something, it has that table, 13, 14.
Yeah. Okay. I heard about this plan. This is growth. Ryan told me about it.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty solid doc. It's kind of specific to IT.
Yep.
But it could be
It needs a.
anything under infrastructure and DevOps, you know, probably how it should be. But anyway, I guess.
So we should kind of base on this test it, right, as a framework.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, example events or artifacts, unusual or anomalous IPs, unknown processes, unexpected behaviors, changes, those kind of things should be looked at. So what would you do at this point, Jackson, if, you know, it says ping and SSH attempts to nodes in the rack fail? I mean, you'd probably be thinking it's some network outage or like rack failure or something at this point.
So I would try to connect to other things and see if I can find the correlation. Is everything not working? Because then maybe it's just the management is out, like out of band isn't working. That's where I would start, and then I'd also simultaneously ask someone to physically check on it and see, are there any lights on? Are there, if there are they alarm lights? Can you hear, or is everything off? There's no fans or anything.
Right.
So I would go.
Will you check just make sure you could log onto the console or how?
Well, if I can't, that's what SSH is, right?
Okay.
So.
So at this point, I would say it's probably likely we're affecting lab operations too, like, because this is, I'm assuming, would be like RTP or SHA or.
That's,
Yeah.
that's what the stated thing was.
Yeah, so.
Mid-shift RTP.
So I would think at this point we would be activating, you know, this procedure and starting to alert people that we have some kind of an issue, significant outage.
It's probably the start to, or wait, time to start mentally preparing for being yelled at by the reps over there.
Yeah. Yeah, and it would be critical having the communication part, like, you know, a Slack channel, Zoom meeting. We can start telling people that we're looking at things.
Yeah, I'd start a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Trying to get in every.
Yeah, so I'll say start a Zoom meeting.
Communicate via Slack.
I was just added now, and then Susan, Alex, Pablo, and us, we were all pulled in a different one, so we joined lead.
Okay.
Is there anything critical we missed?
Well, I think we were trying to figure out what we're doing here for a bit, but at this
We're
point.
just going through this disaster recovery plan. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did we establish who our incident commander is going to be?
Yeah, I think it's Danny.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, at this point, we were just saying there's some kind of a likely failure or outage in the network in RTP, like a rack is inaccessible and applications on it. So we would be activating incident response at this point according to the SOP we have. And creating the Slack channel, Zoom meeting, getting the people in who need to be there, communicating to higher ups as well that we're investigating it. Just basically following the response doc. That was just inject one, basically. So, do you want to go to? Should we go to 2 or do you?
Yeah, let's go to 2.
Okay.
So inject 2, the network engineer attempts to remotely access the top of the rack switch. In rack 1, they're unsuccessful. An in-person inspection reveals hardware alarms on the switch. The team suspects a hardware failure and begins exploring workarounds such as repatching critical connections to alternate ports or moving connections to another switch.
Alright, so it sounds like it's kind of still triage at this point then, right? What's going on?
Yeah.
There's like an echo. You hear that?
Someone upstairs.
Yeah. Right, Trace? So I mean, it's kind of still just a triaging then.
Yeah, it seems like it.
I would think, yeah, I mean, I guess an inject would be like some kind of an escalation in a way typically. But anyway, yeah, that's okay. But nothing would really change then here. We're still triaging. I guess engineers are busy, it sounds like.
I think not a key step. This is the real case, right? I'm just saying.
Yeah, yeah.
So the incident commander will start a doc, for lack of system, and start getting out the key facts, right? What's happening, when, what. I'm just assuming this is a real thing, and really document what is the impact statement. I know we have it here. In this case, we know the impact, right? So that, and like Patrick said, let's get on the board and start triaging, right? What is exactly, and find out what exactly where's the source of problem. I mean, that would be the next step, right? But since this is a simulation, we kind of know already, right? So, but we had to go through this exercise,
Yeah. I would say the key thing at this point would be if it's an outage and it's impacting the lab operations, then we need to be, immediately communicating with them, and they might need to activate their plan, like putting samples. I think they can pause things manually to some degree, and they have a certain number of hours before samples start to fail. It's like 8 hours or something like that. It depends what phase they're in too.
Yep.
So, that would be a key thing at this point.
Okay.
And Patrick, on the list, there's probably a lab escalation communication protocol. There must be, right?
Yeah, I think it, might even talk about it in this document.
Yeah, it's like, we're assuming it's like 2 o'clock, whatever, working time, right? I think it looks like 2 o'clock Eastern time. But if this incident happened on a weekend, I'm sure there's a process too, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, I guess that's why reporting like the SOP we have, it's important within 15 minutes of an actual critical incident that, ELT even is informed, our senior leadership, so they can make a decision. Or be at least aware. I know we don't usually do that.
Yeah, I don't think we have something like that.
And we rarely have had incidents that are that severe though, where we think actually like putting samples at risk. I mean, it has happened, like, last year there was one with vanadium ticket server went down, and it did affect samples.
Yep.
So.
Are they, Patrick, just for my launch, are there 24/7 in the lab as well in terms of support coverage or anything like that?
I mean, they're not actually processing samples 24/7.
Right.
They were thinking of doing it already by now, but that was kind of put on hold. So as far as I know,
18 hours?
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So I guess the question, if something does go down, it would depend on the criticality before they be paged. Would that be the right thing to say?
Well, I think, in the initial triage, that's important to do as quickly as possible. And, you know?
Okay.
That's why I was saying, like, you would also want to start asking questions, like, is it a cybersecurity incident? You
Right,
know,
right,
you
right.
gotta invent, should involve security team too, right away, if something like this, most likely. So.
Okay.
So in this situation, the first, I mean, who gets the paging though?
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
there's
it's not
like a,
countless, right?
I mean, according to this scenario, it sounded like somebody in the lab would have noticed something wrong, or we would or we saw alerts, that kind of thing. So it's in our team. Like lab operations people probably should put a pager duty alert for our team if they're seeing network issues,
Mhm.
you know. I don't know if it's currently clear to them exactly how to do that. They probably
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So
That's what I was saying, that one
Yeah.
of the, there needs to be involved also to see,
Yeah,
because, yeah, what is the procedure? And I think now what they do is directly call GPS.
Right.
That's the direct line, but that should not be, we should,
No,
there
that's,
should be some procedure.
that's not good, you know, because,
so,
is that how it worked right now, Jackson? They just ping you?
The last time we had an incident, yeah, they just started a thread with a bunch of.
That was the one
people.
I joined you, right?
Yeah.
That was, like you said, we haven't had incident for a long time, right? But
Yeah.
that's not an excuse, right? So,
like according to the SOP, it just says when evidence points to an IT incident that has a disaster level of impact, IT must notify the DR stakeholders via the internal Slack channel.
Mm.
okay.
Again, so maybe we need to set up this Slack channel if it doesn't
Okay.
exist, but they should collectively assume responsibility for deciding which, if any, aspects of this plan should be implemented and for establishing communication.
Okay. So
So the question is, there's two parts to it, right?
Yeah.
One part is that if something happens,
Yeah.
DR will not come to a play, right? First you need to see if it's fixable and if it's in the time bound to fix it.
Right.
That's probably fixed. If at all it's not, then moving to the next step, which is the DR part comes in, right?
Right, and then we need to start escalating,
Yeah.
alerting people and all that.
So.
Yeah, but just because someone notices an issue doesn't mean we immediately activate the
That's
DR.
right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, one of the things I was trying to understand, that means that we already have some DR put in place. So the question comes in, do we have DR for, like, say, lab environments or not? Do we have DR for networks or not?
Yeah.
These are the questions, I don't know, I don't have the answer, but I haven't seen fully whether these are DR enabled or not.
So this is like, I'm reading off of it was the IT disaster recovery plan,
Mhm.
which, was basically covering all the on-prem infrastructure,
Mhm.
this kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
certainly the lab has one too. I don't know the SOP name off the top of my head or anything. But, they have their own procedures for, like I said,
Mhm.
trying to preserve and minimize sample loss and,
Yeah.
safely shut down, things like that. So,
Is there, Patrick, is there a reason why the disaster recovery and incident management is mixed together? I think that should be separate. Or at least, it's just
Yeah.
clear, this
Yeah.
is the incident management for IT, so it's very clear.
Right.
And DR should be part of that, a subsection.
yeah, because this doc is actually mostly about DR.
Yeah,
Seems
and-
like, it
and,
kind of glosses over the incident management.
Anyway,
a little bit.
I'm gonna create a new one, so, IT incident management, okay?
Yeah,
because-
platform incident management.
Exactly,
or something.
that's the
Yeah.
thing, that's my second thing I might think I'm do.
On
Because right now I'm
IT,
doing the
yeah.
security response plan, and after I get the iron now, I'm gonna come back here to clean this up.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Make sense? Because right now it's mixed together. This discovery, DR, and incident management, it should be separate.
Yeah,
It's not clear, so
fair.
that's part for.
Alright.
So,
Okay.
yeah, go ahead, Sherry.
No, sorry, go ahead. You're gonna, sorry.
Well, what's your next inject? Let's see, because I think at this point we've agreed, there's it is would we declare it a disaster at this point? Let's say we follow this
Yeah, I
procedure.
would say it's a disaster. I mean, in my mind, I don't know. Jackson may know better.
Well, yeah, at this point we have a rack that's down and it's affecting the lab. So it's,
Yeah.
it's a disaster, right? So we would
Yeah.
activate this plan.
Yeah.
And, we do everything we said, start communicating, set up in the Slack channel, set up the Zoom, start documenting it.
Yeah.
Danny would be wrangling people, all of
Yeah.
those things. So, alert ELT even potentially.
So sure, I know about, so now Patrick mentioned about this, I'm gonna clean this up, so it's gonna be clear right now. We're kind of just talking about it,
Yeah.
And in the future, maybe the next DR will be a lot clearer, a lot easier right now. Because right now, this is kind of not quite there yet, that Patrick mentioned, and we're kind of asking and learning at the same time, right? At
Yeah,
least,
yeah.
which is good, nothing wrong with that, which is good. Which is
It's
good.
the first step, so.
Yeah,
it's okay.
which is good.
We start with this.
We're exploring, we're talking about it, right? To get, everybody.
Oh, it looks like you had questions for each module director.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I have questions for each module, so I just wanted to like go over those too. So.
Sure, we can do that.
All right. So, what is the impact of Rack 1 being unavailable? Like, what is the?
Yeah, this is kind of what I was saying, we need to ask these questions. So, but I mean,
Who's gonna answer this? Is this something like,
I would assume
what is the impact?
Jackson triage, whoever's triaging it would
So
be.
one thing, what constitutes DR? That's one question we need to answer, because we don't want anytime there's a hiccup, all of a sudden,
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
that's what we were just
Yeah.
saying, like, there's a difference between an incident and triaging.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
determining the activate disaster recovery
Yeah.
process,
Yeah.
so.
If there's a whole
So-
site down, I would say that's DR, or the main business system, that impacts the revenue.
Well, if it's impacting
Revenue.
lab processing.
Yeah, exactly.
Potential sample loss.
Yeah, because if we
Yeah.
don't, then we lose money, right?
Yeah,
Financial
and people have to do redraws and all that kind of stuff.
You lost the
Looks
data,
terrible.
it's, disaster, it's gonna be in the news, that sort of thing.
So,
Well, potentially,
so a question to you then, is a rack one down is a disaster or not?
If it brings on, we have a redundancy, we have a second rack, if the second rack can take over,
yeah. Oh,
even if it's a manually, in
Done.
10 minutes bring it up, then no, there's no disaster.
What if it happens when nobody's there?
When nobody's dead, then it's a disaster that nobody's dead, exactly.
If a tree falls in the forest, then nobody
Then we
will
hear it.
So this is why, to be totally correct, this is why we need this documentation. That I'm working on having level 1 support to be 24/7 global, visibility on our infrastructure. They will have that's why we need the run books.
Yeah, so
Mm.
they will,
That they will take
initiate
care of it,
everything.
exactly. And we also, this is why I asked Sasan to bring the Rootly. Rootly has a bunch of capability, and we can auto-correct or call a group of people responsible for the system, depending on what system is down. I know that we are using PagerDuty, but we're looking at the next version of the tool called Rootly. They use a lot of AI, Gen AI, machine learning. So we will augment that one with a 24/7 response.
So somebody I can answer
Yeah,
the
sure, yeah.
call, in other words.
Yeah, I think we are thinking Argentine
Mm.
and India, so 2 teams.
All right.
So-
So going back to this, so what is the impact of Rack 1 being unavailable?
Nothing, because the other rack
It's not
rack
how
two
it's
has to
set
take
up
over.
right now. It's not set up.
No, but I know, but it means,
Well-
okay, if you can manually, when spend an hour, we have an SLAs and SLOs, right? If in an SLA, we can bring it up, then it's not a disaster.
Alright.
But if,
I mean, for the purpose of
But,
this
but
exercise.
let's say
let's
that
say-
like there's nobody there to whatever fail over to Rack 2.
Right,
Like what is the impact?
let's just say,
Impact is pretty much down, right?
Yeah.
It's a sample loss.
Yeah.
sample loss,
Potential
revenue
sample.
loss.
Sample
potential,
loss,
because you have
what else?
time to recover before samples actually do go bad
Yeah.
and all this.
Because sample has a
So,
4-hour window, right? If within the
Depends
4
what stage,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, I'll say potential sample loss. Okay, what else?
Well,
I mean, delay in
Period
the whole
of, I don't know,
process.
90 minutes,
Yeah.
some stuff like that.
Delay in the whole process,
well,
right?
yeah, delay turnaround is
Yeah.
possible too, like, not just loss,
Delay.
but.
Yeah.
Don't we have an
Default
incident commander here right now?
Right here.
Okay, then you drive it, come on.
Oh, okay, all right. I mean,
Well, I want to have, I'm just,
He's gonna clear it, so don't worry.
yeah, I'm clear. I'm just wondering, in terms of the rack, what is that rack we're assuming to be doing? Processing a sample? What is that rack right now? Defining that.
Oh, it's just a
The whole computer
it's
based
hardware,
on the
but
operation.
it's hardware.
It's a hardware.
So all the lab operations
Yeah.
are controlled by virtual machines and
Yeah.
servers that are in one of these racks, or just across multiple racks, but it's all converged into one.
So like think about it. It's like if a room has a multiple rack, one of the rack is gone whoosh.
Okay.
Like instruments in the lab usually have like Windows control VMs, and they used to be, they could run on like a
Robots.
physical box next to the instrument, but they're actually running all on VMs in these racks. So
Yeah.
Does it have
if
a-
a rack goes down,
yeah.
like instruments stop working basically.
The robot handlers, all the
Yeah.
stuff, they have a software, Windows software.
And run.
Used to be like a desktop machine sitting next to it, but now they're all virtual, sitting on a VM bed,
Yeah.
with a virtual machine.
And that VM is in the rack.
Plus EKSA that runs a lot of stuff too, not like this lab gate.
All the softwares, everything runs from the rack. If the rack goes down, then pretty much you're
Honest-
not
and-
doing
We lose all our control over the automated processes in the lab.
And right now, there's no failover. I think you mentioned that.
There is, but manual payload.
There is and there isn't. It's like a big VMware cluster, so when the cluster detects that it's lost some nodes, some physical nodes, all those VMs will go offline, right? As far as the cluster is concerned, it'll try to, but then though, it depends on where, which node the control is running on. So if the control node is in a rack that doesn't go down,
then it's fine.
then it'll just try and reboot all those VMs on the other nodes. If it's in this other rack that, if it loses,
Control.
network and power, nothing's gonna happen. If it loses network, it's gonna try and it's gonna think that the good rack lost everything. And it's just gonna be all,
Yeah,
it's gonna fracture, and depending on how the chips fall, it'll be a mess.
So
So-
let's say you have money in your pocket, you run out of it, even though you have money in the bank, but you have to go and get it, right? That's a same thing, it's not a failover that your pocket gets, replenished with money. So, but this is why we are changing that architecture. When hurry comes up, we're gonna be fully resilient. Any component in that infrastructure can go down, we will have a recovery immediately, unless the building catches on fire. That is BCP, right? But, with DR.
So right now, for now, assuming there's no recovery, no
There's
failover,
recovery,
no
but it's manual. Takes
manual
time.
failover.
Okay, so the impact is sample loss and billion turnaround time.
Yeah,
right?
if
That's
the
true.
recovery takes less than where the window for sample loss is, then it's not DR. But if it was, the window was too big, then, you have to declare DR.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the important piece, like what point of time this triggers a DR.
Well, I think that's in the initial incident, triage, ideally you could determine that pretty quickly. I think just depends how severe it appears.
And
Yeah.
that table doesn't exist right now, does it? In terms of determine trigger DR.
No, but
Maybe a different
determination
dog.
is also not necessarily one can determine immediately. Like this
No.
one,
A call comes in, hey,
As soon
we
as we
cannot
know.
access, then, somebody who gets the call, we have an on-call, by the way. It's not that we don't have an on-call. Eric and some help desk people carry pager, right?
Yeah.
And then they get the call, they don't know what to do with it, then they will figure out, look up, hey,
Right.
there is a VMware, I'm gonna call Dan, it is, I don't know,
Alex,
Alex is
call
calling, I
Alex.
call Jackson to go,
Yeah.
whatever, we have a lookup for who you escalate, but that's the
the-
part we wanna program to routine.
Yeah.
That's still the triage, but I mean, if you determine that there's something, an outage that is actually impacting lab operations,
Yeah.
we would know that too right away. And I think that is, that does trigger this policy because,
Right.
it's a critical incident, in other words. I don't know, but yeah, maybe we need to really define that.
Yeah, very specific.
But I was surprised, this DR process didn't work, because I was expecting at some point you're gonna say, hey, this is serious, you guys are gonna call me, and then I'm gonna come to the meeting. I want us to play like a realistic how
Yeah,
it works, right?
We talked about that. I
We
mean-
almost were going to. We're not there yet. We're step one. We're still figuring it out.
The policy said,
Well, we waited for you for an hour and then.
Still didn't burn.
No, we started already.
So the next question is, what teams would we engage? I have network engineering and lab.
I mean,
Yeah, you always call Jackson first, because you never know.
That's right.
I would
It's the
say
network.
we should be asking if there's a potential for a cybersecurity incident.
This thing you
Yeah,
call Jackson.
so security team as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the way Jackson has a very unique role. He can go and shut down the firewall from internet
All right.
attack stuff.
The policy
What were
says,
the
tell
initial
Jackson, don't tell
triage
anybody
steps?
else.
Okay, let's finish this. Come on, guys.
Alright.
Well,
What
we'll
is
be holding.
what is the initial triage steps taken in the rack level network outage?
Check the power, check the, VMs, nodes are off, check the trampoline, make sure storage is off, right?
It's skipping a lot.
Check if
What
there's-
is Jackson? What is it?
Alright, wait, so frame it for me one more time?
So what are the initial triage steps? It's like looking at the servers or something, or what is the?
So
yeah.
first you'll try and connect over the network to different things, right? Because we don't automatically know which rack is going bad. We don't even know that it's a whole rack that went bad. It could be just one bad node that's causing things, it could be one bad switch. We really don't know. Like
Okay.
if the switch for a rack went down and the rest of the rack is totally fine, we'd have no visibility into it until someone can physically check it out. other than we'd be getting alerts.
But this, by this time, all the boys is there on the ground, right?
Ideally, but if it happens after hours or if, on the weekend or someone he's not there, if it's after hours, maybe Sal will be there to take a look at it. If it's before Boyce gets there, then Ricardo or someone can check it out.
So the first thing is connecting over the network to like some VMs in the rack just to make sure that things are working, right? Basically, or things are connecting.
Yeah, just trying to connect to the things that are throwing the alerts, see if you get any clues that way, and probably simultaneously ask someone to walk in and check it out. If it were Boyce and he's already there, he's just walking in, he doesn't have to ask anyone.
Okay, what next?
Well, you go from there, based on the information you have, you kind of use that to explore the different routes.
Then based on information, you have a decision tree, right? Go to the next step,
Exactly.
next step. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
There's some mitigation step in your head, Jackson?
Well, I mean, it depends. Like, there could be so many different things that go
Oh.
on, right?
So, how is this event classified? Is it like a IT issue or is it a business continuity emergency?
Yes. I don't know.
So, which one?
Well, I feel like that one depends on the impact, right? If we're sticking with it's just one rack going down, can
Well, again, it
it not be
depends.
both?
Yeah, it just.
It is obviously an IT issue, but it could come into business continuity.
Right, just depends.
Okay.
So that's why, I mean, communicating with the lab and seeing where things are at is important too, like, are they actually affected? And it sounds like maybe we don't know if
Yeah.
a rack outage would really be
Mhm.
fully breaking things.
Yeah, like if it happens in the morning and
Yeah.
the outage is isolated to post-amp processes, right? People might not even notice for a while other than our alert tree, because that part of the day hasn't come up yet.
Should still communicate with them though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so, help me understand, the lab runs 24/7?
No, 18 hours.
18 to 20 hours, yeah.
Including weekend or no weekend?
Not on the weekend.
Not
No,
weekend.
They
they run.
do?
If
Oh.
they're doing technically 7/16s, but there's probably
Oh,
some
okay.
plus or minus there, yeah.
So, the samples are run, so when those time that lab doesn't run, the samples are stored properly, is that how things are?
I don't think, I mean, they don't really ever fully shut down everything, because I guess it takes a long time to bring it all
Yeah.
back up, like
Mhm.
a week or two, so,
Oh, okay.
yeah, that's happened only rarely.
But should we consider it's running 24/7 then, just for
More
simplicity?
or less, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, but like, that's why we do, lab software deployments, for LIMS team, and, at night. We wait till the processing is done for the day, so we do still get a window, like you can make LIMS go offline for a bit and that kind of thing. And ideally do network
Mhm.
maintenance then as well, so.
I remember the last one.
Well, let me see, the initial stage really is that, you need to declare, instant response regardless.
Right.
Right.
And then we need to develop instant response plan, we put out the DRP out, right? Then the DRP should have a bunch of stuff,
What does DRP stand for? I'm sorry.
disaster recovery plan.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
So once the disaster recovery plan open, in this scenario, first, verify the power, make sure there is power to the data center, right? If there's no power circuit,
Power's always my first thing.
circuit breaker, right? First we
Yeah.
check that.
Yeah, the obvious one, right?
Then it's definitely, after that's a network, because most of the time, maybe backhoe cut the fiber, telco went down. In our cases, we have seen a lot of time,
Yeah.
when the outage, there was an internet out or network was down, right? In this scenario, we have a pure storage, we have those check storage, there have been times that, mount points have disappeared. We have found that, either was software issue or somehow, trampoline, we had once or twice they're offline. We check the storage because the system heavily relies on storage to continue running, right?
Right.
Then if the storage is working and the power and network is there, we have to go to VMware console and Kubernetes, management to make sure that, cluster is up and running, VMware is, in a normal, operation mode, that one. Once we do then we have to see the software, there's GBG, I don't know, this virtual machine. We have to make sure that the health of all those components are, this is why, Shares, the monitoring is very important. Because going and digging these things, we can obviously monitor what component is down, right? And we can narrow it down a lot quickly to begin with.
We can automate all of this thing, just check.
Oh, we can, but if we don't know what it is, we cannot automate. First
No,
of
but
all-
as you're saying, it's go one by one. So first,
Yeah.
power is not there, you cannot, it will not even do it.
Correct, but but most of the time, it's not just the power, so these are like, logical steps to begin with. Once that's done, we gotta see if the lab component, maybe those, what are the USB stuff that connect?
Digis.
Digis maybe don't apply, somebody unplugged it, then that's how the equipment talks to the digis to the, we got troubleshoot. Actually, Ashley, I think, had a really nice, document,
there.
especially for the lab stuff, that's how they recover that kind of stuff. And then, from there it goes down to begin with, you just continue from there. Either, you narrow it down and you solve the problem, or it's something you have to extended disaster recovery plan has to be, initiated. And after that's, it's within a system normal, we have to do a few things. We have to make sure application is recovered without a fault, right? If there is a fault in process, we should look at it. Then we have to look at data integrity. Did we lose any data in the process? Maybe there are some data still in the VM, but they haven't hydrated, hasn't written. There is a delay when the sequences write the data to trampoline, and trampoline pushes it to S3. So we need to make sure we look at that one. And if there was a network, we have to have a plan for network restoration, right? How do we do? A switch died, we have to be able to buy a switch, a router, the firewall. We should have that plan.
Potentially data restoration too.
And that's why I said the whole
Something
data loss, we have to look at it.
Or even like configuration got corrupted or something. Like,
Correct.
Yeah.
And this is funny, then it's just security and forensic. Now when I do run endpoint, maybe there was a malicious actor that, caused the system to go down, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I look at CrowdStrike, Armis, you see if there was anything introduced to the environment. And then we have to have a good communications plan. This is the one that is always misses. Who we want to inform, if it's a lab, if it is this building. Like it's good having this building, right? Maybe our executives are, in the process. And then you have to do, we have a GXP, we have to do compliance, filing and report, right? This happened, we did all the steps, there was no loss of data, data integrity was in place, nobody stole the data. I mean, we all watch Mission Impossible, they just have a power surge and they plug the stuff in, steal the data, who knows? And then whatever your heart pleases.
So, all right, going on to the next question. What is a process that we can use to diagnose? I know we mentioned connecting over the network to the VMs to check connectivity. Is there anything else that can be done?
Yeah, so Jackson mentioned it, send somebody in there, look at the rack.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a multi-step thing, right? So to connect to, so let's say if you want to connect to the management, or I want to log into the switch to see if the switch is online, right? To do that, I have to connect to the out-of-band network with VPN. When I do that, I know, okay, the out-of-band, or the internet is working, because I can hit the VPN endpoint that's there. And I know that, like power is there to the firewalls at least. So then I log in, or now I try and connect to the switch. I can say, that the switch isn't responding. It's probably our issue. Why is it our issue? Is it out of power, or did it have a hardware fault, or did the cable go bad, or did it get unplugged? That's when having someone there physically will help you narrow down. Because if there's a hardware fault, it'll have a red light on it, or it'll have no lights on it. If it's, the whole thing's out of power, that happens, cable goes bad, it's like everything plugged in, let's go, but there's no flashing lights on this uplink cable. So every step of the way, you learn something new about what's causing the issue.
Jackson, on this knowledge, is it just you know this, everybody knows about this, in terms of triaging step, the one you just mentioned?
Well, Boyce would do the exact same thing.
Okay.
I think Dan Martin, capable of the same thing. Patrick, I don't know if you ever log into the out-of-band network for stuff.
No, but I mean, maybe I should.
So,
But the DR plan should have all of this.
okay.
So, just to make sure I'm understanding, you said send somebody physically to the to the lab to test connectivity to the switch and see if you're able to connect to it, right? And if you're not able to connect to it, it could be something bad with the switch. Is that okay? All right. Where is the network topology documentation stored? Is that in Viva or?
Yeah. The Viva has like the PDF view of a Lucid chart. The most up-to-date stuff will be the Lucid chart. But we haven't changed any architecture, so it's right now it's in line. A few of the icons are old, but otherwise it's in line.
What about that web app we have? I forgot the name now. Something box?
Netbox. Yeah, that doesn't really have any architecture. It's more like serial numbers and stuff.
Like an inventory thing.
Yeah.
Not topology.
Okay.
Like, do we really have an up-to-date kind of network topology diagram or document? Yeah. Okay.
That's what you show me, right?
We have we have that.
Good.
But I think, Danny, I talked to Rabina, have workflow.
Yeah.
Because reading a document, Viva document is just like insane. We should have where each of these scenarios workflow that tells what you check, what you go.
Yeah, it's a playbook.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a playbook. Yeah, that's why I need to get to it. It's a playbook. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to make sure it's not in Alan Jackson's head, right? You go on vacation, Patrick and him or somebody can execute it. Even me, right? You can follow the playbook,
well,
right?
I have a neural link where Jackson's head, Jackson can be anywhere I can download it.
You did what to my head?
Neural
You let the muskrat in there?
link.
Nasty.
Right. So the next question that I have is, what steps should be taken to isolate the root cause? I know you mentioned sending somebody in physically, right? What else? Is there anything else that, like, specific, like, I don't know, commands or anything, or?
Just SSH, man.
Somebody had an AirTag here.
Yeah.
Okay.
AirTag?
All right.
It says there's someone's AirTag here moving with me. You want to put an AirTag on me?
That's a good idea, but it's not me. That's not me.
Yeah.
Okay. And then.
I mean, I
So
have one
what
in
are,
my backpack.
what are the recovery options if the switch hardware is confirmed failed?
What are the options if it's
Do
failed?
we have a second
Yeah.
rack?
We have
Yes.
set of switch, we can take one.
We have plenty of ports. It's really just hope that the cables can reach into the adjacent rack without too much rewiring. Yeah, that'd be the main
Okay.
one.
We're
I
going
think-
to store quiet.
So basically, we have to rewire the ports.
Correct. Yeah, change it to move the ports off the dead switch onto one that is working. It could, there are multiple server switches, top of rack switches per rack in some cases. So maybe only one of them went bad. You can try and consolidate all into one switch, or if the full stack is bad, or if there's just one switch in there, then move to a different rack.
Okay, sounds good. All right,
And
so
I will
now
say, in order to move it to a different rack, you'll have to do a fair amount of configuration of the actual ports on that new
Okay.
switch. They're not going to be set up for that already.
Okay. Configuration as well in order to move the ports, right?
Yeah.
Or rewire the ports.
And we have backups of the switches, so we can reference a backup of the switch that died to know and do a mapping of what's now.
The backup of the configuration.
Correct. Yes.
Got it.
Jackson runs a pretty tight ship, man.
I inherited all of it, so don't give me the credit.
Okay, Jackson doesn't have it, Jackson found it
Okay.
and cleaned it up.
We do have all these run books, by the way, that are written that are mapping to PagerDuty alerts.
Oh, perfect, yeah.
Where's it want to located?
For IT infrastructure, IT alerts, and Confluence. There's, and like if you see it,
Tim Patton wrote a bunch of
no,
documents.
I mean, this was all done by like Cameron and Dan and those guys back in the day.
Well, Tim was gonna build them, right? The work instructions and.
But these are just.
All right.
Anyway,
So
sorry. Yeah.
let's move to module 2. So module 2 is extended disruption and site operations impact. So the top of the rack switch failed in rack 1 remains unsolved and all system hosted All systems are hosted in the rack, continue to be unreachable. Lab operations have been partially impacted due to critical automation, workflows, and file shares residing on affected servers. While endpoint devices outside Rack 1 remain online, applications that rely on the services hosted in Rack 1 are experiencing cascade failures. So what do we do?
Okay, so at this point, you're saying lab operations have been impacted. So I mean, that was my
Yep.
question earlier.
How much time has passed?
Let's see. I have it here. It's about like, it's a while actually. So Friday at 2:30 p.m. till the next day at 10 a.m.
Why would it only be now that lab ops are impacted, or if we haven't been
I
able to
don't know,
resolve it all this time?
That's just what I have.
Okay.
Yeah, at this point, we would have gone out to Fry's and bought a new Switch, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think this, if we kind of assumed the last step, a lot of this was happening, I'd say, you know, like lab
Okay.
ops are impacted, but you say, okay, let's be careful. Someone else is coming in.
I mean, I can update it. Like, what would make sense?
I don't know. I would just say this would have been much sooner, probably. It's all like, you know, we weren't able to resolve it in an hour or two. We'd probably.
But so should I move this time back? Is that what you're saying? Or
Yeah, I would say maybe it's Friday at
an hour.
5 p.m. Eastern or something, like, still 3 hours have passed, right?
Yeah.
okay, I could do that.
Even in 2 hours, I think
Yeah.
they're going to be crying about it big time in the
Yeah.
lab. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, it's 5 is fine.
I don't know.
I don't know. Like we'll just put 5:15 maybe here.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So what do we do?
I think a lot of the things we said. In the
Yeah, a
last-
lot of the things we already said, right, which is move everything to a different rack that can reach, reconfigure the switch.
Yeah.
And make sure everything can, you know, you can SSH to everything, make sure all the VMs are up and running for the lab.
I mean, Brandon just said about like status page or notifying. I mean, we did talk about that earlier, that we would, once we activate this DR, we would be having a Slack channel, Zoom meeting, Jira ticket, incident commanders, potentially.
Yeah, I have a lot of
communicating.
that written down.
Yeah, but I mean, when, I guess maybe the question is like, when would we do that? At what point? Would it be here now that we've decided like lab ops is impacted?
Is this a continuation of the first one, or is this a brand new one?
It's kind of a continuation.
It's kind of
For continuation.
Then we don't need to repeat that again, right? I mean, by that time, everybody's in the room, we talk about it, and these are additional impact I found. Is my understanding correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so we failed to resolve it within 3 hours. So
Right.
somebody's running out to buy a new switch, because we can't reach the other rack. Maybe we need longer Ethernet cables.
Right.
Would we be able to like stand up the applications on a different rack? Maybe that's a question too, perhaps.
You know,
Okay. Would we be able to stand up the applications on a different rack? Okay. Okay, what else do we think?
I mean, if the VMs are impacted, maybe we need to restore from a snapshot, but we're not really specifying that the VMs are really impacted. They just lost connectivity because the switch failed. So that's probably not an issue.
Wait, sorry, repeat that again.
Yeah, no, so, I mean, if because of the loss of connectivity via the switch, a VM becomes unhappy for whatever reason and we need to restore it from a backup, that might be something that needs to happen, I don't know.
Okay, that's good.
So, Shreyas, we'll take each items and go from there, right? Starting with the rack, after the rack, what is it? You know, mounts you see, how many, servers are running on there, how many mounts are there, and then if one of them goes down or multiple of them, then, yeah, what is inside that, right? How many pods or how many, whatever it is running, I don't know, VMs or how many are down? I guess.
So you're saying get like an impact, like how many are down?
Yeah.
Well, they'll all be down, right? Because the switch is not working, correct?
Yeah, yeah, true. If the switch is not working, yeah, it would be whole thing would be down.
Okay.
If the switch is down, if we're saying this switch is down, I mean, these switches are vendor switch, like a Cisco switch or something? Do we need to call them or something? Do we have support, Yeah? Yes?
We have Juniper switches, we call it support.
Okay, so assuming we're using the switches, I'm just picking Cisco, okay? Cisco switches, then we have tried to figure it out, but they're still down after these couple hours. But we think switch is the problem. Then we have to reach out to escalate to, the incident commander, I guess, me, need to contact the support page, Cisco support, 24/7, get them in the bridge, updating them, give them the data, start incorporating the triage process with them as well. Assuming we're taking that route, okay, I'm just making that, that's a route,
I mean,
okay?
we have Juniper, I guess.
Is it Juniper, whoever, right?
Yeah.
The vendor 24/7 support. That will be the next step, right?
Yeah, I mean, would you be reaching out to Juniper early on if you were having trouble figuring out?
If I knew it was the switch, yeah.
Okay.
If it's one switch, don't we have a secondary or no?
Depends on the switch. Not all switches are in a bid stack.
Mm.
And the way that Juniper does the high availability is just active and stack. So it's like you can stack up to, I believe, 6 or 8 switches all together. So 6 times 48 ports, all seen as one bid switch.
Mm. But if the whole thing goes down,
normally, it's very rare for the whole thing to go down because of one of them having an issue.
Oh.
Do they get any alerts from us? How's the communication, or you just have to call them?
They have a support portal.
It's a support portal?
Yes.
Or there's no direct linkage, things like that, nothing saying, so
No.
they don't get any alert from us saying the switch is down, they have nothing like that?
No, we have to raise it because, we could be triggering that stuff manually.
Right,
We
right,
don't
right.
want,
Right,
teams
okay.
to
Okay,
and that'd be so much noise for them that the line for support would be
Yeah.
out the door.
okay. But they have a 24/7 support?
Yeah, we have, I think
Contract?
we have like 1 hour support.
Oh,
They
okay.
Respond within 1 hour.
That's good.
Alright, so I think that's probably good enough for event 2.
Well, do you have your list of questions below? Should we just be jumping to those so we don't kind of go back and forth? Or
Yeah, we could do that, yeah. Alright,
I don't know, or should we talk about I'm not sure how you planned that to work.
I mean, I wasn't sure, I was just following the template that they had before, so.
Oh, okay. Well, it says these are the discussion questions.
Yeah,
Should we read all of the injects and then talk about those maybe?
I don't know what better format is. Danny, do you know?
Well, they just go through all the questions and they just kind of fill in the gap. I think, we started, but there's a lot of things that we didn't know. So I think we have all the expert here, right? So we can kind of facilitate and fill this in.
Okay,
I think
so should I go through the injects or no?
Yeah, I think so. That's important.
Okay.
Those
okay.
are the scenario, right? The step by step,
So inject 3, the lab automation software tied to trampoline storage hosted on rack 1 fails mid-run, causing sequencing processing to stall and placed and placing in-process samples at risk of degradation.
And just to be specific, and stalls, okay, sorry, fails mid-run. And how is this determined? Just want to be clear. Does someone notify us, or there's an alert that comes in?
There are trampoline alerts.
Okay, alert.
It's
So-
a sys-infra team, so that team would need to get involved too.
Yeah.
At this point.
Okay, so get sys-infra team involved. Involved, and we would get, where do we get alerts from for trampoline?
It's PagerDuty. Yeah,
Okay.
it's even one of the run books around here, like Lab Agent does alert us. I think sys-infra team gets them too.
Okay,
Get like
sounds
Slack
good.
alerts, PagerDuty.
Alright, so what else do we do?
Okay, so the alert comes in, and Patrick, the alert goes to whom? How does that work?
It would go to, again, like the on-call engineer for our team,
Which
PagerDuty, and
could be Patrick, one of, not Patrick, Jackson, one of them.
it could be me too, because
could be you.
I'm always the
Oh.
second if someone doesn't respond.
You're the second escalation point.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I would go back and pester people.
You
But, I mean, I would have to find someone. It's just like if they didn't respond, then it escalates to me.
But there's always a rotation in place already, right?
Yeah, for the primary, yeah.
Is it a secondary, or you're the secondary by default?
I think it's like, no, there's a secondary, but I'm like the second level.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
If neither of them respond or something.
Oh.
Yeah, and it alerts my phone.
Okay, so
That's
I
what
think,
happened on that, switch
Yeah.
stealing. So,
so does that, and what was the thing you mentioned, the thing that you mentioned?
which one?
The one that we need to add it in, the one what team was that, Sherry?
Sys-infra.
Sysinfo.
Infra, yes.
Do they, so they will get alert, correct? Initially,
Mhm.
correct?
We would get a PagerDuty alert too if it's the lab agent, which is a component that interfaces with trampoline storage. Also, if like the pure storage devices go down, we get alerts for that too. So.
So you get alert no matter what, sounds
Yeah,
like.
yeah. I think so.
Okay, so let's take that route, Patrick's team gets an alert, all right? And of course, I should get an alert too, right? Things like that, right?
Yeah.
Then then we huddle on a Zoom or a channel, that's need to be according to the playbooks over there, existing playbook, the sys op. Then I think the next step is then we simulate exactly what's the problem, make sure everybody's online at a problem statement, we understand that. And we start the triage process, like what Jackson mentioned already, right? Those steps he mentioned. That'll be the kind of next step. At the same time, I'm just going to run this through. The incident commander, that'll be me, I guess. We need to start to get a communication channel going to the stakeholder that's ready on the list. Again, that's probably in the op book already. Then we start the process and they're documenting everything. So I think that process will work for this. I just know the main things, who to contact, things like that. And we just carry this through, right? Through this simulation. So that will be the kind of the process. The switch thing, we can simulate that. The switch is down, and we need to contact Juniper. Juniper is that the only vendor, or there'll be other vendors?
Firewalls like Palo Alto.
Firewalls, Palo Alto,
Pure storage is the storage. So we, if
Dell for VMware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do we have a listing of all that somewhere? Or is
Might be just like BSI.
BSI? Yeah, give me that.
Well, because like a lot of the support portal, like to actually get in contact with these, you have to be like part of their support portal, just have their Okta and stuff. So it's usually like only some people. Like I don't have access to like the pure storage support portal. I can do Juniper and Palo Alto, but like Voice and Amherst and Denmark can do the other ones. So I don't involved with those systems. I
Yeah.
could call them and tell them like find their phone number online, tell them customer information, they'd probably help, but usually want one SME with support portal access.
Yeah, I want to create like a one page that everybody would know what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might have one already.
We might have one?
Date, who knows? Well, no, for the BSI, like BSI, as we're important individuals, like as business owner and secondary owner for everything.
And it has system owner, primary and secondary.
That's right.
So like I looked up now, trampoline, it says Emmerich Boys, and then this Alex said on business, GLT owner as well. And it,
I think you should put Danny's name first. You should
Yeah.
call Danny first.
tell Dan to update all these, but replace.
Oh, okay, I know this page, I know this, yeah, I see this one.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Above it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, system owner is like the SME who would, business owner is usually listed as the manager of that, that org, so.
For the
Watch,
Uh,
watches over.
All right, let's go to the next inject, just so we're running low on time. So the next inject is during a routine maintenance effort, engineers identify incompatible firmware update on the TOR switch was applied the previous afternoon. An attempt to roll back the firmware is initiated, but fails due to loss of remote access to the switch. Physical intervention is required, delaying recovery further. So what do we do?
During his summary, maintenance engineer identified, this is different engineers, this is a, okay, it's a continuation, is that correct?
Is it still network?
Yes, it's a continuation. Continue. Yes.
Is it still the network command?
Okay.
Yeah. Let me just say network engineer.
Yeah.
More.
I
What's
think you
it?
should just put Jackson.
No, don't put
No,
Jackson.
Gotta keep it generic. You know?
No, it's because
All right.
Ali, he's on vacation, you know.
He's
So what do we
not
do?
to go to vacation, that's just part of his contract.
He approves my vacation.
I know, but still, then I approve.
No, we gotta make it repeatable, so it's not one person. We gotta have redundancy. Patrick, do you
That's
agree?
true. When we have redundancy, be careful, let me know if you're approving a vacation for somebody. That's a good one.
Adjourn just
So
requested.
what do we do for this one? Like, can we do rollback or something, or what do we do?
Well,
Depends.
we'll see if there's a playbook, right? I don't know if there's a playbook.
Is there a playbook?
Is
for
it-
this? I don't think so.
Playbook should not be Jackson, so that's the whole thing, right?
Yeah, maybe in a few years, he's not here, no one knows who that was. You should
Oh,
say
man.
network engineer. I'm just saying.
Jackson, you get really scary, man. even Brian says that, and that's really scary, man.
So
Yeah, but
what do we do?
Boyce not being here is the one to worry about.
Boys, what?
He's next to
Voice is our network engineer in RTP.
Yeah.
So-
He's been here for years, he knows.
So what do we do? What do we do here?
You just call
What can we do?
Just call Boyce.
And most
What
of
is
it
it?
will be,
Wait,
That's
message voice. Did you say message voice?
Yeah, we call Boyce.
and most likely
Call
he'll be the
voice.
top golf or something.
Okay, seriously.
And Trey, we've come full circle because that was my initial answer to this whole
Yes.
exercise.
Call Boyce.
Well, if this is a continuation of the previous one, I mean, Jackson's really there, I assume it's Jackson, right? I mean, it would just be additional triage effort, right?
Okay.
It's nothing new, it's just another problem surface, right?
Yes.
Right, another problem surface, and the
Well,
right,
it's not a problem. It seems like it's like the root cause is determined.
Let me see, hold on a second. You should, even the DR, you should break it to different scenarios. There was a network outage, there was a trampoline outage. But really, you cannot, because there will be one thing failing. If we can practice in the small components of it, we can get a lot better. This is why it opens such this wide range of stuff that you never come with objectively, you know? I think this high level is okay. Have a follow-up every week that focuses on, you know, different component. Maybe VMware, the fact that everything goes down at once, it is highly unlikely.
VMware?
Maybe VMware goes down, here, there, or Juniper switches, you know, just get impacted, or the firewalls. I think if we do that, we can get a lot better to develop better runbook and troubleshooting. I don't, that's my suggestion, because we're boiling ocean, anything could happen.
Right.
I have no idea.
Right.
So for this inject 4, so can we do rollback or something, or what? How does it work? I don't
You
know.
can always do rollback if there's a code, you know, but it doesn't config or code.
So
Or-
this is for a
or-
firmware update?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what can we do? Yeah.
You
Right.
can,
The firmware.
if it's kind of turned into a bit of a brick, like you can't log in or anything, really just left with, and reboot doesn't fix it, you're left with the factory resets and then reapply the
Okay.
configuration, if it lets you do the factory reset. Sometimes
Okay.
if the firmware goes bad enough, it won't. And you just have a really nice expensive brick. That's when Juniper
Yeah.
RMAs it for you after, you know, them arguing with you for 3 weeks.
Okay. So do factory reset. What else? If it doesn't work, reach out to support.
I'd be in contact with support for the whole thing. Just so
okay,
they,
okay.
yes, but Juniper's really stingy, especially after all the tariffs about
Yeah.
RMA and things. They're
Okay.
like, have you tried absolutely everything? Or like, yes, you did all this with me. And they're like, let's try it one more time. And it's
Okay,
like, no, just
okay.
send me a new switch.
Yeah, but for all the critical systems that were Patrick, we need to identify, we have spare parts always available. We're not gonna, you know, even if we have a, you know, 7 by 20, 7 days, 4 hours turnaround, it's still, I have not seen them to, you know, happen on time. So for critical stuff, make sure we have spare parts.
Like
And
spare switches?
Spare switches, I mean, we have a lot of switches, honestly, we could put, but you know, it's good to have a spare top of the rack already plugged in, spare, you know,
Yep.
access, you know, and that kind of, you know, makes it really easy, like we have to go scramble for it. And find that is too firmware, you know, old, that doesn't help either. So these things are always brought up to the next level. We already have with VMware, we have 2 slices, we have Batman and we have a Robin.
Yeah, but I think most
Alright,
storage is
so-
dev right now, right? Now there's prod, I'm not sure how it's set up.
All right. So what? Let me go over these discussion questions. So how do we support labs and business operations when a critical rack is offline?
Can you repeat that again?
How do we support lab and business operations when a critical rack is offline?
Well, we don't support, we go to the back,
We go
there's
to-
nothing we could
We
do.
go to the micro center and
Well-
see if they have what we need.
Well, we mainly just communicate with them.
Yeah.
You know, be very transparent.
That's a communication plan, right, for the audits, we have a communication plan.
Do what we can to patch things together so they work.
We try to give them estimates of when we'll be back online, even potentially. Yeah, as best we can. Yeah.
We don't have a SLA with lab, or we do?
We do.
We do?
Yeah,
We were,
4 hours.
4 hours?
well, we were supposed to be reaching like 4 or 5 nines, or you know, that was
Ah.
the plan when Alexis was the director, like, for network computing storage. Like 5.9 was the goal, which is like a few minutes a year of outage.
Oh.
But that means full
Yeah.
resiliency, if you have a
Yeah.
5.9, that means everything has to duplicate, everything has to fail over automatically.
Right, right.
They don't call anyone, that's what happens, but you know, the minute you avoid it, you go down, that's necessary, 3.9, you had even, you know, have 4.9.
5.9 is 5
All right.
minutes a year.
How many?
So
Five
what are
minutes
the
a day.
what are the immediate communication protocols to
I'm
lab
not sure if
leadership?
that's possible. But,
And the
Find a
5 minutes
megaphone.
means 5 minutes.
Say that again. I couldn't hear you.
I'm being sarcastic, ignore me.
yeah. It just
So
means
what
automatic
is the
failover
immediate
recovery.
communication to lab leadership?
So it's obviously gonna be a combination of Slack and
Yeah.
email and maybe Google Chat.
Yeah, I feel they'll probably be involved in whatever Zoom sessions are ongoing. And then for everyone that isn't, you know, have someone do a write-up of an email and send it to all of the leadership people so they're aware.
Even though it's sad, but I'll tell you, the lab leadership will wake up before we wake up. You
Mm.
can no bet on it, because that's how always it is. They are the one they wake up and escalate to Bob and Satnam.
Well, they
Yeah.
start running
Yeah.
at like really early in the morning.
Yeah, yeah.
4,
Oh, right.
Yeah, yeah.
6 a.m.
Right.
All right. How do
Before
we
you
maintain
go
team
anywhere
awareness
here,
across
you see
departments
Satnam
during
call him,
partial
he's
failure?
Yeah?
incident manager.
No.
Again, communication via the various forms.
Communication over
So-
Slack.
So Slack, email, chat,
Yeah.
Zoom.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, incident commander, this is very informative. I think we have a lot of hope in this, so let's make it better.
You have a whole other module there.
Thank you, everyone.
Hey, show me the money.
It's a good
Hold
outfit.
on.
We have general.
We still have a half hour left here.
This one,
Never
one
mind.
room.
Everyone else is just gold.
Let's go through this quickly. So, what is our escalation process to vendors or third-party networking partners when physical hardware failure is suspected?
Hold them up.
Coming in for.
We kind of talked about that already quite a bit too.
Yeah.
right?
Is it just like reaching out to the support, right, basically?
Yeah, the portal.
Yeah, reach out to support in the portal. What
Shrey,
else?
so you're making those somewhere, right, Shrey?
Sorry, say again?
You are capturing the response somewhere in another doc, is that correct?
Capture what response, sorry.
Like what Patrick just saying?
Yeah.
Okay,
I have
okay.
it in a separate doc.
Okay, all right.
So reach out to support in the portal. What else? What else am I missing? That's it, right? I don't know. What else?
Do we have SLAs with Juniper, for example?
We have SLAs.
1 hour support with them. And our main firewalls have 1 hour support with Palo Alto. All the branch ones are 4 hours.
So SLA is probably not the right term there, Shrey.
Okay.
So we've got contractual support time windows, basically.
Okay. I'll say contractual support in place.
Yeah.
Yeah. With Juniper, okay, that's fine.
Palo Alto.
1 hour. 1
Yeah.
hour with Palo Alto, okay. Okay, sounds good. What level of redundancy exists in our rack level and TOR networking design?
That's a Jackson question, but he's just told us that we have.
We have manual redundancy, right?
Well,
Sort of.
Second one down.
second one down, and yeah, so it's kind of split, it depends on the rack. Some racks will have multiple Tor switches, especially
Okay.
if they have more, we try not to fill up more than 50, or to be honest, 25% of the switch before adding another
Okay.
one. So, and they are active-active, you cannot really effectively do active-passive with a switch unless you use another switch. So, it's, if a switch in a stack dies, you have to manually intervene to move them to a different switch. There's no way to really automate that without having another switch in the middle, so.
Right.
So, how do you summarize that? That's,
The level of redundancy is what?
Varies.
it
So,
varies.
yeah. So it's at least one extra level of redundancy, but it's potentially more than that. So if like 2 switches died, and if Jackson can get longer Ethernet cables or whatever, then you can use a 3rd switch.
Yeah, it's really just, is there enough slack to have it, or is it wired cleanly enough that you can pull it out, put it in the other one, or do you have to kind of bring it around, leave the doors open, right through bang this?
Right.
And in Voice's domain, it's not clean.
Yeah.
He runs a tidy
Yeah.
ship over there.
Yeah. So it's at least 2 levels of redundancy, could be more.
Okay, sounds good. But could be more. That's fine. Do we have a program for file and VPN access if critical services are localized to a failed rack?
What? No workaround.
No workaround, okay.
No, it's not really. That's just kind of something that you have to rewire, move, or rebuild.
Okay. Currently, I'll remove that last question. That's not kind of beat a dead horse there. I'll change this to be Friday, 29. And then, 20. Okay. So make this like 7 p.m. All right. Alright, so partial recovery has begun following the hardware failure and replacement of the top of the rack switch in rack 1. Connectivity to systems in the rack have been reestablished, but performance is degraded. DNS inconsistencies and intermittent access to internet shares persist. The infrastructure team initiates stage testing to verify the health of affected system that serves as host in rack 1.
I don't even think DNS inconsistencies is a thing there.
It's not?
Yeah, well, we have redundant DNS, like
Oh,
RTP
okay.
can rely on MPK for DNS or AWS.
Yeah.
It needs to.
So DNS inconsistencies really isn't a thing. Intermittent access to internal shares persist is probably a thing.
I can remove DNS and
Yeah, just get rid of that. The intermittent connect access to internal shares persist. I mean, that's either a physical cable missing or
So what do we do in that scenario? Like what do we do?
well, we did. It's like we didn't fix it the first time, so we go back and we fix it. Yeah, and again, the timeline's probably way too late, right? We would have.
No, sorry, wait, this is Friday.
Still Friday, okay.
Yeah, that's better. But yeah, so it sounds like whatever we did to fix it didn't work. Maybe we really need a new switch, or maybe we did a factory reset on the switch. We uploaded the config, and maybe we had an old config, or potentially, right? So that could give us intermittent access stuff. So we fixed the config, or the switch came up, but it really is somehow degraded in a way that we can't know.
Okay.
In which case we need a new switch.
Okay. Sounds good. So we'll definitely need a new switch. Add an old config. Okay. What else? Is there anything else that I can add to that? I think that's probably good enough.
Yeah.
Alright. IT begins providing updates to lab and business leadership, outlining progress in restoring Rack 1 systems and preliminary findings related to data integrity and system health. I don't know if there's much to add there, right?
No, I don't think there is, but yeah, communication is key.
Yeah.
And maybe I think one thing is, of course, I think it's current status, where we are, and ETA for full restoration. I mean, ETA is always important. And when will be the next update, and things like that.
So when will be the next update?
Right,
Okay.
because we're doing at 7:15, right? They will say, okay, the next update is expected next hour, 2 hours, depending where we are.
Okay, sounds good.
And whether we need any help from them. Maybe
Is
leadership.
there any help?
Yeah, that's cool. Because sometimes we might need help from them because we're not getting any collaboration from our team. That's where escalation happens right there then.
Sounds good. Okay, let's go to index 6. So leadership evaluates whether to restart limited lab operations using recovery services from Rack 1, despite ongoing performance issues and potential instability.
Leadership evaluated we start innovation. This is still Friday, right? This is still Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a decision point for them, because that will based on what information we'll provide at 7:15, right? If the next,
Yeah.
right, let's say our ETA for fully restoration is within 30 minutes, okay, they probably could wait, right? It's gonna be within unknown 3 hours, that could impact their production, and that's when they will make a decision, you know? It's going to depend on the updates.
Makes sense.
Make sense?
Yeah,
Yep.
that
Yeah.
makes total sense to me.
Okay. Depends on the information given. Did it get better? Was it fixed? Okay. All right. Cool. So let's just go over these questions. So what systems hosted in Rack 1 require full validation for resuming operations?
Okay, I don't know enough about that one. What system serve in rack one? It would depend what assumption we put in, you know, what,
Right.
I don't know, I don't know.
We didn't even define what systems are.
Exactly, we don't know, and to be honest, the rack one is not.
Yeah, well,
defined.
let's pick the worst case scenario. Say it's a VM, a Windows VM that's running
Yeah,
a centrifuge or something,
right.
and that goes down. Well, that's going to halt.
Yeah, we'd need coordination with like the end jobs and the lab ops team, like, they'd have to do validations.
Yeah, so that one's pretty subjective, Trey. But let's just say if it was a critical virtual machine that was hosted in that rack that went down behind the bad switch, I don't think require full validation is really kind of a thing. I mean, basically, we fixed the switch issue, we bring up the VM. If there are no errors on the VM and it came up clean and it's ready to start doing its job, running the centrifuge or whatever it does, then that particular VM is now good to go.
Okay. So basically, a subset of VMs in the lab, right? Is that what you're saying? Or
Well, so these are the ones that are in rack 1
yeah.
behind switch 1. We replaced switch 1 with switch 2. Now everything's connected again, and the VMs are up and running, so they can run the experiment, the centrifuge, or the whatever. So, are there any other VMs that, if they went down, wouldn't come up clean?
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe EKS nodes, those could have issues.
yeah,
Depends what's on the rack.
yeah. It does.
So the EKS anywhere nodes, is that what you think?
That would be in my experience with Kubernetes, sometimes if a node comes back up, it's not always graceful.
Right.
Sometimes it's easier to just, completely remove it and then build a new node.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a potential for an EKS node or a random VM that doesn't come up clean, but whoever's bringing that up, in theory, knows how to troubleshoot that.
Yep.
Like we could have to potentially go back to backups like VM or.
Yeah, snapshots.
Snapshot,
Yeah.
How do we do snapshots? Is it all VMware snapshots, or do we have another tool for that?
vCenter.
No, there's something called VM too. It does like,
Oh, Veeam, that's right. Yeah.
Veeam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's backup.
Yeah.
but like when I was doing all the teleport agent installs, I was taking a snapshot of vCenter.
Yeah, those are good for just quick things, right? But the retention on it is just eating up space, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. And Veeam, is that in cloud or is it in a storage?
That's pure storage, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
I think it's
Okay, snapshots from Veeam of them.
pure.
That's good. Means they'll be faster stored.
Jackson, I have a question, so we have the expert here. Once we get this cleaned up, do you think we can actually do this an actual simulation?
If you did it after the lab closes.
Okay.
Promise everything came back up.
Yeah.
But honestly, probably not, especially during clinical validation, the period that they're in right now.
Yeah.
We need like a full staging
Yeah.
kind of environment.
We'd want like a full day of or to prepare them for a full day of lab downtime as a possibility if we were to pull something like this.
I mean, or we actually have like a full staging setup
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
But you couldn't still totally simulate like the effect on the lab
Yeah.
instruments and all that.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're talking about millions of dollars to
Yeah.
buy extra machines.
Yeah.
Do you know how much the sequencers cost? Each?
Over $1 million.
Yeah. And there's what, 7 or 8 of them
Yeah.
in there? Yeah.
So we could actually do a dry run of these simulation. Is that to some extent? To some
But
extent?
we couldn't do any physical simulation.
Yeah.
We just don't have the equipment, things like that, right? We don't have a staging
We
equipment.
don't have a staging,
Is that right? Okay.
a whole staging lab.
No staging lab.
But if we had like a day or two of
Yeah.
planned full downtime in the lab, maybe we could do that.
So it's possible with
Yeah.
proper planning.
We want to make sure
Yeah.
it comes back.
Yeah,
Still,
that's the thing. Like if,
Oh,
Yeah.
but we're still testing in production.
Yeah,
if we screw it up enough, I mean, was to fully restart the lab is a week or two.
yeah, something like that.
process.
Oh, no, we don't want to test on production,
Yeah.
right?
I'd say.
No, we
very,
really,
very
we
likely
don't
to,
have any
so.
staging lab.
Yeah, I'm just asking. We
Yeah.
can't, yeah, we don't have a staging lab and we don't want to test on production. Agree, Patrick? Not a good idea, right?
Well, they have done like chaos testing before, to some extent, but yeah,
Like this one you see here, that the one we're doing right now, can we actually do that?
yeah.
No.
For us to do it is a lot riskier than like software to do chaos testing.
Oh.
Cause they can just restore it like that, you know, with
Yeah,
our infrastructure actually is what allows everything else to run.
right.
So what can we get out of this then? I'm curious.
Well, I mean, we're saying that the root cause of this is a switch died. Jackson can simulate that, right?
Yep.
I mean, go buy a new switch, take a hammer to it, and
Unplug it during the firmware update.
Yeah.
See.
yeah, and then replace it with another switch. I mean,
So some extent we can do, right? We
Yeah.
can do
we
Control
can
things.
simulate it to an extent.
to an extent.
Can we simulate the VM that's running EKSA that runs a centrifuge?
Uh-huh.
No.
No.
We can simulate EKSA and a node going bad, and we can restart the node.
Okay, so I think we need a column in that data. Say, can we simulate this? Yes, no, yes, no. Then we can.
Maybe turn off a port on the switch.
Yeah.
So one port going bad,
Yeah.
but
Pull the
Do
cable
that.
out.
because they're redundant.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Sure, that's what we will do. Now we can review this again. We'll add another column, like the stuff you put in. Which one we can actually do? Which one we can simulate?
Okay.
Okay, just make a note of that, and we can work together on this.
Well, so what changes do we need to make? I'm a little bit confused on what changes.
No, the reason I was asking is like this is really good exercise, right? We're finding the scenario, we're finding the step, the procedure, the playbook, but and isn't the end goal to actually run through it, right? Like the time you mentioned, just run through it. When the war room, we just go through the simulation. It's like a fire drill, basically, right? But some of these parts, some of these things we cannot do. You know, there's risk to the production environment, right? Some we can.
I created this not
Yeah.
with the intention to actually
Do it?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's
do
a
it.
Tabletop, right?
Yeah, this is a tabletop exercise. So
Is that
we
it?
just need
Okay.
it for
Like role
I
playing
believe
game.
it's the ISO 27001 certification. So that was my intention.
Oh, is that the objective? That's
Yeah.
it? That's the scope?
That's the requirement, yeah.
That's a requirement.
Okay.
We're just trying to meet the requirement. That's it.
Yeah, that's the scope.
So.
That's the scope. Okay, fine. That's the scope. And I think you mentioned that in the doc. I'm sorry if I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is definitely a tabletop exercise.
Okay.
We're not going to do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, that would be nice if we could eventually do that, or maybe, but it's complicated. Like we would have to actually have
All right.
like a full stage.
Yeah.
Let's just
Got it.
let's get through these last few questions. So, if only a subset of endpoints are back online, how are lab and engineering teams prioritized for support?
extremely highly.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's all hands on deck at that point.
Yeah,
Both
right.
lab employees and engineering and IT.
And we would have been communicating all along with them too.
Yeah.
They would make their own decisions as well and not handle it, but.
I think everyone working on an incident should have one free shut up pass where they get to yell at everyone around them to just shut up.
Physical
Well, you could potentially
relocation of
separate
sequencing
rooms,
operations be
for, like,
considered
management leadership,
to maintain business continuity.
engineers working on things.
Yeah.
I think that is not really in scope for us.
Okay.
That's somebody in a lab making a decision about physical relocation of hardware, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
I'll remove that one. All right. What long-term mitigations could reduce the duration and impact of future rack-specific outages?
Well, like Jackson has said, we can already use a different switch if the cabling is
Yeah, I guess having,
works out.
because you can't really do true high availability with the switch, the next best thing would be to have a hot spare in the rack powered on that mirrors the configuration, so you'd still have to manually move over, but I'm saying this switch should be totally empty
Right.
and not stacked with software to the other one.
Right.
And just have it move down when you need to. That would be the best way to mitigate, I believe.
And do we have that anywhere yet, or no?
No, we do, like, for example, our WAN switches, the one that sit between our internet provider router and our firewalls. They only have two things going into them, right? Like one uplink from each internet provider.
Yep.
So going to port 0 is from provider 1 going on switch 1, going into port 1 on switch 2 from provider 2. So we leave the empty ones on each switch configured, so it's just one cable.
Yeah.
Yeah, we learned that one the hard way. But yeah, we have 48 port switches, 2 of them for 2 internet connections.
Yeah.
And then how do we validate system and data integrity for nodes and file shares previously hosted on the failed switch? That's actually a good question.
Yeah.
Is prayer an option?
I mean, so say we've got a VM in this failed rack that's doing something sciencey in the lab, where it's sending, the VM is actually getting data sent to it from an instrument, and the switch goes dark. We would have lost
Whatever was in transit.
whatever was in transit. So how do we validate it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
how do,
especially if it's like a UDP stream from an instrument.
oh my God, right?
Dumpful. You know, I'm gonna tell a joke about UDP, and I don't care if you get it.
Oh, so the answer is, yeah, that could be problematic.
Okay.
So how does the instrument? Do some of these instruments have like a local cache that they can resend? Do they have
If
a
they
buffer?
run TCP, they're probably okay. Actually, no. I think I don't know. I think with TCP you're okay, because it won't remove any of the data locally until after the session.
After they've gotten acknowledgement that they've
Yeah.
sent it to the VM.
Yeah. Oh, you know, I don't know, because if it's a reset from the server, it might still do that. Oh no, but it'll just drop, so it'll hold on to it. Yes.
Right.
So just UDP data, I believe, would be our problem child.
Okay.
I don't know how many IoT devices use UDP.
A lot.
IoT is what? Data integrity source nightmare, I guess.
Yeah.
So
So
many unknowns.
I would call out UDP,
Yeah.
because UDP data could be lost from an instrument on the way to a virtual machine in the rack that died. Does that makes sense, right?
Sorry, repeat that one more time.
We're calling out UDP.
Okay.
UDP data from an instrument to a VM in the failed rack could easily get lost. And we don't have a way
Yeah.
necessarily to resend that data from the instrument. So presumably the lab folks have,
If they know which ones use UDP, then we can know everything with that instrument on it should be rerun when things come back online.
right. What if it's a instrument that runs once and only once?
Then you need a new sample, I guess.
Right.
But, then it depends, right? Like on what the data is. Like if it's a, an acknowledgement of existence.
Yeah.
Right. So sorry.
UDP, they probably, I don't think they probably, it wouldn't be used for many things.
No, I don't
Probably,
think so. It's really not that common.
It's for only for data that you don't care about losing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And-
Or things that need really low latency, but
Yeah.
still.
Yeah, and clearly when they set up the lab, somebody thought about this, right?
You would think.
So we're hoping it's not a problem, but UDP could be. So that's our answer.
Okay. So using UDP, basically.
Yeah, if an instrument is sending UDP data to a VM in a failed rack, the data's gonna get lost.
Yeah. Okay. How is patching and compliance managed for endpoints that were offline during the outage?
How many times is this question gonna be asked?
Mm.
It feels like every meeting I'm in,
Yeah.
someone's asking about patching.
How's it gonna be managed? It's gonna be patched on whatever schedule we have set for patching. And if that schedule is during the downtime from when the switch died, then it gets moved until the VM is back up. Make sense?
Okay.
On the way up.
All right.
Yeah,
Last
and I
one.
resent you for taking it.
Are detailed incident timelines, root causes, and corrective actions being documented and communicated cross-functional?
Yep, that's Danny's job.
Definitely yes.
Yes, by the
That's it.
incident commander.
Okay.
That is affirmative yes. Drew is 2,000%
All right.
correct.
Good job, guys.
Good job, Sherry.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Fred.
thanks.
Yeah, I just misunderstood.
That was really painful.
No, it's not painful. I learned a lot.
That's good.
And then we got Jackson here do some breakdown. It's good, right?
It's just really long.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Thanks, Ray.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, bye-bye.
Later.
See ya.
Bye.